was like, all these obviously the TikToks, all these athletes like come up, so I was like, saying, yes,
No, I'm so excited.
All right, so thank you so much for joining me, Rosie. You are a member of the Brown track and field team, and I know that you've been competing. Your event specifically is very, very impressive to me because I feel like it's like a culmination of like 20 different things as one.
This is true. Yeah. So I do the heptathlon. They consider us multis. In indoors, we compete in the pentathlon, outdoors, the heptathlon. But the total amount of events I'm competing in whole is usually 7. So that is 100-meter hurdles, high jump, shot put, 200 meters. And that's day 1. And then day 2, we go into long jump, javelin, and then we always close in the 800 meters, which unpopular opinion, but I kind of love that event. But anyways, yes, it is a whole thing and it's its own unit.
Mm-hmm.
But I love it. I love it. I've always done it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I ran cross country. I did not do track. It was crossover season for lacrosse, but that is very impressive in its own right because, like I said, it's a culmination of so many different things. I feel like you can't have like a weak point. Like you have to be on top of everything.
Definitely. I mean, especially to be competitive, the Ivy League has seen such an improvement in the multis that we're bringing in. It's a very European league, to be honest. Like, so, and track and field, it's athletics. It is like the sport of Europe. So it is just growing in its competition. I think the only leagues that or conferences that were equivalent, if not more competitive than us, were like Big 10, Big 12, ACC, SEC. So it's rough, but I love it. I mean, it's also such a beautiful event because, I mean, it's the only event like in the Olympics, everyone does a victory lap because finishing is its own feat. And we just have such a good community in the Ivy League. Like, I'm friends with all the girls. We're always like, we're competing against each other, but we're also competing against ourselves. So we're cheering for each other. We're like we know each other well. So if someone PRs, like we're screaming for them too, because you just want to finish the thing. So we're there to have a good time and enjoy it.
It's good to have that type of environment just because I know when it's such an individualized sport, sometimes it can get a little bit like there is a chance of like butting heads like that, but it's great that your conference, you feel that there's kind of this kind of camaraderie around it. Ooh, I could speak today. But growing up for you, I looked into I looked and saw that your sister also swims at USC.
Yes.
So what is like that what was like your environment growing up to produce like 2 Division I athletes, both in endurance sports?
This is my sister, she was actually not endurance, she was a diver, a platform diver specifically. So even more crazy, to be honest, because like that is completely mental. Like the thing, like,
yeah.
So, but this is my favorite story to tell because everyone's like, oh my gosh, you guys are so athletic. My parents are music teachers.
My dad's a drummer.
Oh my gosh, yes. We grew up, so my parents are private music teachers. They teach out of our house. I shared a bedroom wall with the drum kit. So there were no such things as naps in my household. But my parents are amazing and there was never an ounce of athletic pressure. My parents were athletic. My dad was a state champion in gymnastics when he was younger. And then he like quit that because he joined a rock and roll band that still plays today. And they've just, I think that is its own testament to our success in sports because my parents never once put an ounce of pressure on us. Even today, like they're there and I could get dead last and they're so proud of me for getting out there and just trying something and having fun. I think that both of them, like at the end of the day, they just want me to be doing what brings me joy. I mean, my sister before she was a diver, she was an incredible gymnast. She was like Connecticut state champion.
I like see how that translates.
Yes, always. And the day she was like, I'm done, my parents were like, you're done. So it's definitely funny. People are always like, "Whoa, like your parents must be some like cracked out people." And it's like, I mean, they're awesome, but like I can play like five instruments. Like that's so it's cool. And my younger brother, he turns 16 tomorrow, but he's getting into sports now. He does basketball and he loves it. But I think that it was definitely more like also more so driven by seeing my sister, like our
Mm.
siblings, like I saw my sister excel so well at a sport. And then I found track. It was like, oh, it's going to be my thing. And I fell in love with it. And now Rocco's finding basketball. So, but it is unique because it's not a parent thing
Yeah.
really. Um, but it's great. It's really fun to see all of them do
It's
it.
funny you say that because for me, it's very, very similar. Like both of my parents are not super athletic people. I mean, my mom played like softball in like high school, but that was like
Yeah.
really about it. And then my dad is like a drummer. He made us learn an instrument growing up. But I never caught
What
on.
was your instrument?
I was taught how to play piano and guitar, but like I just feel like I didn't get that gene. Like I feel like like musically, like my brain just was not there. It was very much athletically I was inclined. But it was a rule in my house that you had to learn or at least try to learn.
That was me. We had a rule where you had to take piano for 6 months and then you could decide what you wanted to do. Both my siblings, they're still pretty good at piano. But I kind of went more the like guitar route. So
Do you
that's my
still play at all or no?
I do. I play, especially when I'm home, I play gigs around town. I sing and I play guitar and I really like
Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
yeah, singing is a really big part of my life, and it doesn't feel as much like that when I'm at school because I think everyone here kind of knows me as this athlete. But in my hometown, like before I got to high school, I was full on theater kid. My parents, they also own a theater company,
I love that.
and this was like peak Rosie. Like I was theater kid to the max, and I totally still am. But yeah.
I love that. I say if like I could, I would totally do that, but I can't sing. And I don't have but I do love like Broadway and I love theater. Like I'll go when I like all the time when I can. I just don't have that gift.
No, and you don't
But
have the gene to be able to appreciate it. And I feel like it
yeah.
gets a bad rep, but no, there's nothing I love. Like, oh, it's so inspiring to see people
Yeah.
like just on that. It's amazing.
Mm. No, and you were saying that everyone knows you as like this athlete there. You posted a TikTok saying that like you don't want the rep of like being the really good like track girl.
Yeah,
Why don't you think you want that rep?
that's a great question. So I posted that video when I was going through a really hard time in my life, and it not blew up, but it got way more viewing than I thought it would. Like,
Yeah.
so this was last year,
Mm.
and I was about to go into my season opener. And this is kind of when it wasn't really, I mean, I probably had like 5,000 followers on TikTok, but the world of track and field is really small. And it was starting to get to the point where people would be like, oh my God, it's that brown girl, and it's silly in itself, but I was like getting ready for one of my meets and I saw this girl from URI and she was like, yeah, all the girls on my team, like they heard you're going to be there and they're so nervous. And that was hard for me to hear because it was like, whoa, just because I post TikToks and people like
Yeah.
know who I am, this has created an expectation on my performance. And that freaked me out because I think the whole reason why I created my TikTok account, or not think, I know the reason why I created my TikTok account was because I did not want to be another Livy Dunn. I did not want to be an athlete who just posts the glamorized life because it's not like that, as you know. Like,
It's not.
usually there are more bad days than good days. And I wanted to be someone to call light to that and be like, hey, like, yeah, like I'm working my butt off and I'm in a bad season and that's okay. And I think that just really hit me. And I just all of a sudden felt super called to make this video to be like, I want you guys to see me as a real person. And I don't know, it was a very strange video, but it was healing for me in itself to just
I did. what you mean. I also feel like it might be a little bit of like an imposter syndrome thing where it's
Totally.
and I like I'm at the very beginning of like my sports broadcasting career, and sometimes I'll be out and people will come up to me and be like, "Oh, we're seeing what you're doing," and I'm like, "Yo, that was an internship." And they're
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, but that's still cool," and I'm
Yeah.
like, "I know, but like I feel like I'm posing as something that I'm not," and they're like,
That's what it is.
"Just take credit for the things that you're doing."
Yes, imposter syndrome in NCAA sports, in everything in life, is so real. And I think that getting to track and entering the world of NCAA was where it really hit me because you're always looking at someone who's better than you. Because in this world, there's always going to be someone better than you and someone worse than you. And that's just how things work. But I think that I was just looking at all these people. I was in a place of very low confidence.
Mhm.
Um, and that was something that I've was a lesson of my whole last year. Um, but I think I was just in this state where someone was like, "Oh, you're really good," and I was like, "No, I'm not. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? Like, I, I don't want you to think that, and then you're gonna see me, and then I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be. You know what I mean?" And I think that was me trying to cope with like, okay, where am I at? How can I be? I don't know. It's hard to explain if you haven't
Yeah.
lived that life, but as you said, like you have, it's just like imposter syndrome is so real. And honestly, now, if I had that conversation with that same girl and she would have said that, I would have been like, cool, rock on, let's do it. Like, Rosie last year is not Rosie this year. Um, I like, for the pat, like, I've always been like, yeah, but I'm not good enough. Like
Yeah.
I'm not that good. And this year, like, I'm telling all my coaches, I'm like, well, I'm going to nationals this year. So
You're manifesting it.
I'm
You have
manifesting
to.
it. I mean, I'm like staring, like I write it out everywhere. Like it's on
Yeah.
sticky notes all over my room and I'm saying it.
Mhm.
And this year I'd be like, yeah, like cool, I'm gonna win that meet. But at that point, I wasn't ready to accept that. I wasn't ready for that confidence level.
Mhm.
Um, so it was a whole process in its own. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and that's great though, because I feel like if I always say if you don't look back at yourself like 2 years like in the past and you're like, wow, like I don't really know if like then you're just not improving and you're not evolving as a person. At least that's my opinion.
Yes.
And it's also this like fine line between like confidence and cocky. And when you're young, you always people feel like being confident means that like you're cocky and it's not true. But
Yes.
just because you're like very young and like you're trying to find yourself as like a human being. So
That's the
yeah.
story of my life. I think especially in track and field, like it's such an individual sport and like
Mhm.
you are your brand, if that makes sense. Like
Mhm.
like you're not shown in a team, it's you. And I would always look at like Noah Lyles and I'd be like, he's so cocky, like I can't do that. And my coaches would be like, no, he's not. He's like
Yeah.
I was coached my freshman year by Aries Merritt, who's still the world record holder in 110 hurdles. And I would always say that and he's like, girl, he's confident. And you have to grow where you see that's confident.
Yeah.
And I've always been that person who on the track, like I I couldn't offer that confidence because I thought it was cockiness. And I would be like, oh, like the definition of me is getting on the line and giving the two people next to me a fist bump because that's just who I am. And I would never prey on someone's downfall. I want everyone to do good, but I'm finally in a stage where it's like, I want you to do well, but I want myself to do just as well, if not better.
Yes.
And I have the confidence behind me to accelerate in that direction.
Well, it also seems like you're kind of on track to do that. I was obviously I researched everyone that I'm going to talk to.
No, I'm honored.
You are like working your way up like in the ranks to get to at least second or third in the Brown record for the heptathlon.
Yeah.
You went from 10th, 8th to 4th. And in like you're pretty like you're in your junior year, you have
And yeah.
still room like, and it's is there any sense of like pressure at all when you like hear that type of stuff or have those type of goals, or is it just one day at a time for you?
Not at all anymore. And that's where I love my growth story because I came in hot. I was this freshman who in high school I was just named like All American. I got third at nationals in the or the girls pentathlon and I was like, all right, like I'm gonna kick some butt in college. And I got here and I was like, on the line next to 23-year-olds in an Adidas kit. And I was like, I'm out of my league. And literally my whole freshman year, I would go home calling my mom, sobbing after practice. And I'm in the healthiest environment possible known to man, but I would just be like, Mom, like I'm not good enough. I can't do this. And the whole first year, it was just about kind of like finding my ground, and that alone, like I think every year I've seen crazy improvement. I didn't do a heptathlon my senior year, so I was just comparing from junior to freshman year, but that was like a 500 point PR. And then from my freshman to my sophomore year, that was another 500 point PR, which is a lot to add up. Um, so I just think I'm in the perfect environment that like my coach, he sees me exactly as I am and works with me in the way that I need to. I'm a big overthinker, and he has prepped me perfectly for this moment where it's like I'm ready to trust my body rather than my mind. He has this thing where it's like, y'all like to Ivy League it. Like we think all day and we're just like, okay, like he makes a joke how I ask the most questions out of anyone in the world. Like
Yeah.
he'll be like, jump. And I'm like, okay, but how? And he's like, Rosie, just jump, get the jump. But I have some big goals for this year. I think my goal is like a 700 point PR, which is crazy to do within a year of track and field. And it's scary for me to say. It's scary for me to say this publicly, but I'm also ready to say it and I'm ready to be the best. And if I want to, I mean, the Ivy League I always say like the chances of me going to nationals, which only the top 24 in the country go,
Hmm.
are higher than me winning the Ivy League this year, just because of the talent we have coming in. So I'm like, you know what? I'm shooting for the stars, and if I don't make it, then I'll land on the moon. And hey, the moon's pretty nice, so I'll take that.
I know it's great to have those goals and just put them out there because then you're kind of training your mind for like what you want in general. But I also noticed that you also do the Run Your City community thing. For the people who don't know what that is, I was looking into it. That's really cool.
It brings me so much joy. That's actually where I'm headed to after this. That's the only thing I have on Sundays, and it's the highlight of my week every single week. It is so it's actually globally based because we have some programs in somewhere a couple of countries in Africa.
Okay.
But it started off by these collegiate athletes, runners. I believe they went to Virginia, and they started Run Your City, which is basically a nonprofit organization that is targeted towards lowering barriers to entry for kids in sports. So we offer a completely free running club for kids like grades K through 8. And it's completely self-funded. We do a lot of fundraising for it. So I've been on the founding team of Browns chapters since we started August last year. So we go fall and winter or fall and spring season. So this is our third official season. We have reached over 200 families in Providence. And it's completely free. We offer snacks and running, and it's just amazing to see all the different demographics we're hitting and the community that we're building. And it's beautiful. It's really my favorite thing. I could just talk about it all day. Like the joy that it brings me to see these kids, like they care so much and it means so much to them. And I I'm Christian, and it's really important for me to spread love in whatever I do. And I really believe that I have gifts for greater intentions. And if I can use my gift of running and track and field for bringing community and love to a world that really needs it right now, like that's what's most important for me.
I always said that like in college, I think some of like my favorite moments were doing certain things like that and just coming together as like a team or even just as like an individual. Like for me, the thing that I was super involved in, like I was one of the ambassadors for our chapter of like Morgan's Message. Like that mental health is something
Yeah.
important to me. But I love that you are able to combine your love for running and then have a direct impact in your local community. I was actually in Providence like a month ago.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. My internship was there.
Town, nice. No, it's great here. I think also it's really intersected well with since coming to Brown, like I've really utilized the open curriculum here to find out what I am truly passionate about pursuing in my life. And I'm studying, I'm double majoring in economics and international and public affairs, but I've kind of created this focus on like development economics and social impact. So it really just intersects well with those things of I just want to help communities flourish in however they can. So it's like a great learning experience. And I mean, I'm the public relations lead, so I do a lot of interactions with the community, but also, I mean, we're all learning together like how to finance this nonprofit and how to get the word out and how to get people to donate. Like we just had Trader Joe's donate all of these
Yeah.
snacks for our kiddos. So it's great to like just learn about how to get involved in a nonprofit and how that functions and see all the behind the scenes.
That's awesome. Cause like starting a nonprofit in general, like it's not easy, but you're starting it from like scratch at like a younger age and just like learning how to like fund it yourself is a great like just life skill in general. Um, but I had like one question in terms of you were going through that journey that you mentioned of like kind of self-discovery. What's like one thing that you wish you knew when you were like a freshman or even like a senior in high school that like you know now that would have helped you?
Oh, that is an amazing question.
It's a hard question. Take your time.
I think there's so many things.
Yeah.
It's really hard to put into words because it was such a learning experience.
Mhm.
I think I wish I could show her a 15-second clip of all of it. There is so much positivity and love on my squad, and all of us are there. Like, it is such a healthy environment to be where we're all like grinding and we're all grinding with joy and
Yeah.
and we're all pushing each other with love and at the end of it, like, you know what I mean? We all see each other as human and not robots. And we know and that you're going to have up days and you're going to have down days and we're there for each other. And I think that it's literally the biggest blessing in my life to be in this program where I am just
Yeah.
because it fits me perfectly. It fits my learning style perfectly. The coaches are exactly what I need in a coach. I don't do good with yelling. I don't, you know what I mean? Like I just need to be
Yeah.
seen as human. And it's, it's a beautiful community here.
I know you're on your this is your officially your third year. I know you got a long way to go still, but what do you think has been like your favorite moment, be a like on or off the track?
Ooh,
Because for me, I feel like sometimes it's like even like the bus rides or like just like some of the funniest things I think I've heard is like when I'm like delusional like 5:15 in the morning.
wait. Um, a really big moment for me was this past, like our most recent outdoor championships. That was a, that was kind of the big finale of that emotional year for me and learning a lot. And I hadn't gotten to do a multi or heptathlon all year, so my opener was at conference, and I was like, this is I'm just and I wasn't feeling. I mean, I was still really battling with my confidence, and I was like, I'm gonna do an experiment. I'm just gonna go in and tell people I'm gonna win, which this was crazy, Jill. Like this was like my PR at that time was like 900, almost 1,000 points behind what the best girl was. And I was like, I'm gonna, and did I believe myself? No, but I was just telling them I was gonna win. And I PR'd in 6 of the 7 events and PR'd overall by like 500 points. And just finishing that and being like seeing that score on the screen and then my teammates just running up and I just sobbed because it was just like this crazy moment of like, I never thought I could do this in my whole lifetime, and I just did it by the time I'm a sophomore. How much farther can I go?
Yeah.
And like, I think I just learned this year, like, there's there's beauty in my story. And you could look at the world champion all the time and be like, but I'm not as good as her. And it's like, but look at what I did. Like,
Mm.
I did that in such a short amount of time. And I think just that feeling of relief after, and like being with my teammates and them just like holding me, and like that was like that's up there in my moments, just because I always say like that's the year I got my spark back. Like
I love.
I'm so excited. Yeah.
I think that's easily now going to be the title of my episode for this. Some
Yes.
Yeah, it's gotta be in there. Um, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I had such an awesome conversation with you.